Hi everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here today. So my name is Gabriella Gay. I'm a mother. I'm a trained teacher. I'm a vintage dealer, so I own my own business. I'm a page stage poet, so my main job is as a writer, and a PhD researcher. And currently, I have a lot of leadership roles, and I have had quite a few. Been on quite a leadership journey. I always start with the first one being a parent because I don't think you have to underestimate how much leadership happens when you are a parent and in your own household. I'm a trustee at the New Vic Theatre, so I ask a lot of questions about how that organisation is run. I teach at Staffs Uni and I've taught at Keele Uni, so I'm still using my teaching skills. I also produce and facilitate quite a few art events in the area, so in Staffordshire in particular. And I'm lastly, and the reason I was invited here is because I'm the founding member of Kwanzaa Collective UK. And Kwanzaa Collective UK is an association of artists, activists, and academics of colour. And for the last 4 years now, we've been doing a lot of work in Staffordshire in terms of art, empowering young people, and walking in well-being.
Just let us know, why is leadership important in our community?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So I probably should start by saying that a lot of people think of leadership, and the models that we have of leadership are very much about getting people to do what you want them to do in different styles and different ways. But it's very different when you're trying to build people and a community, which is what I'm trying to do in the work, especially with Kwanzaa Collective UK. I'm going to touch on what Peggy said, because I always think of myself as probably the most unlikely leader, because I was a very quiet child, I didn't speak much. And I think sometimes you have to twist that, you step into your power. And my power comes from seeing what needs to happen. And for a long time, not feeling like I could step forward and address what needs to happen and someone to lead that vision. But what I had to recognize is that sometimes you just have to take a leap. And I've done a lot of leaping. And what that has led to is also recognizing where my strengths are. And my strengths are in being a visionary, in inspiring and motivating other people. And I am good at connecting people together, and getting to know people well. And that has served me very well in terms of all the different leadership roles that I currently have. I suppose in terms of Kwanzaa Collective UK, leadership was built into when we were building, when we were developing Kwanzaa Collective. And the reason is for exactly the things that Holly said. A lot of people of colour didn't have opportunities to lead, or felt that leadership was often questioned. Isolation, marginalization, lack of mentoring, scrutiny of their leadership, and no opportunities for leadership for young people. So when I had the vision, was developing Kwanzaa Collective UK, and we did that as a group, we knew that we wanted to make sure that everyone had the opportunity to lead. And we do that by making sure every project that we have, someone else leads. And what that does is, and which is incredibly important for people of colour, is that we have the opportunity to lead, but also to be a good follower. And the reason why we need people of colour to have the opportunities to lead is because we don't often have them outside. So what Kwanzaa does is we give people opportunity to lead and have good followers, so that you are able to make mistakes. We will support you. We're able to support you in terms of the thinking, and do that together. So even though I've led Kwanzaa, and I lead a specific section, I'm also very good at being a follower, so being in those groups, those art projects. We also do that with young people. So what we do with young people is we bring them together, And we give them our skills, show them what we can do, but then we step back and let them lead. And what that means is that all the members of Kwanzaa have the ability to lead within Kwanzaa, but equally they have the skills and experience to be able to lead outside of Kwanzaa. So that's a really, really important in the way that we work. And it's because it's about building communities. And one of the things that I've really learned is that in order to build communities, everyone needs to have a role. I probably should just end, because I know I've talked on for a little while, in just saying that some of my kind of tips in terms of leadership is, get to know everyone well, and that has worked well for me as a leader within Kwanzaa, but also outside, in terms of making sure that all the organizations of color and all the arts organizations are joined. So I know what everyone's doing. I know everyone's strengths. So I know where the places are where I can say, this is the one for you, or I've seen a job that is for you. And equally, other members in Kwanzaa do that. They know each other. So when they see an opportunity that is for someone else in the collective, they are able to say, I've seen something for you. And that's how we keep growing each other. I also want to say what I really, really want for the Potteries Partners, for the organizations of color here, but also for Kwanzaa, and what has worked and what has been successful, is that to really build a spider web. That's how I'm always thinking about it, because for us as people of color, especially, we need to have that flexibility. It needs to be strong, but it also needs to have that flexibility. And the structure, like a spider web, is it's connecting across. There's lots of stuff that happens without me. You could have made that connection. It happens without me being at the center of it. Yeah, but it's strong, but it's flexible, but it's connected, and constantly growing. I just think that us as people of color, we have absolute wealth of knowledge and skills to grow our community, but we're busy. But, and it's what I always think when I'm writing down my roles is I start with me, what the things I want for me. So if you're doing any leadership, you start with yourself. What do you want for yourself? Whether it's a growth in your income, whether it's a growth in your network, in your skills, you need to start with yourself. And then you go to how can it benefit your community? So what I'm doing in my community, in Kwanzaa, I know is benefiting my community because it's providing creative opportunities for everyone to enjoy. People are seeing themselves on the walls. They're seeing themselves young people are able to see artists actually working. So think yourself, your community, and then in the wider world, like what is the impact that what you are doing will have in the wider world. So I really think that it's important for us as people of color to really step in, like Peggy was saying, step into your power. I had to step into being the youngest child and not feeling like I should be the one leading anything, really, or step into, being voiceless for a long time and going, actually, I can see this really needs doing and saying, I'm the best person to do this. I recognize that I'm the best person to do this, and not shy away from that.